Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Honk honk, everyone. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. Meghan has just posted on her Instagram, and it is bizarre. And I want to talk about that and why is she celebrating when it sounds like the website has been a complete disaster. And even her fans are turning on her. So I want to talk about that. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, and leave me comments, as all those things really helps YouTube to recommend my video. I appreciate it. All right, let's get into this. So, yeah, she's just posted on Instagram, and I want to take a look at it and talk about what's happening. Of course, I know you know, but in case you don't, yesterday marked the launch of her rosé. Now, I did do a video on that, which you can go back and watch, where, in my opinion, she pretended to sell out really quickly. So, is it that there were only a couple bottles to sell? Probably. Or is it that I don't believe it that it didn't actually sell out? Probably that too. I would guess probably the first option, but you can leave me comments and let me know what you think. But it does not stop Meghan from celebrating as ever. As Ever Official has just posted this. Let's take a look. And there you go. Here she is. And it says, still soaking it in, feeling endlessly grateful. Cheers to what's ahead. Oh, where do I start with this? All right. Well, first of all, let's just talk this picture. I thought this is familiar. We've seen this. And then it occurred to me, yes, we have seen this. It seems to be an outtake from her People shoot. Now, what's funny is look at it's like Instagram versus reality. And I do believe that this is still, in my opinion, photoshopped with an inch of its life, but it is funny. Look at the difference. She doesn't look human there, in my opinion. But yeah, here she is. So she posted this celebrating the sellout of her wine. And the point that immediately jumped into my head and that I want to talk about is look at where her focus is. It's always on the wrong thing. I talk about that a lot. Her focus is on the publicity side of things versus the operational part of her business. From what I can tell, the logistics just are non-existent. There have been so many people complaining about the website not working. Even on the Pro Meghan site, they were talking about how was it allowing them to order even when there was no stock? Probably. We're still hearing tales of refunds from not only the first launch, but this recent one with the apricots. People are complaining that, again, even her fans are complaining that they're not getting the product and that they're getting their logistics on refunds sound like a nightmare, honestly. So I just find that interesting that, again, her priorities are just completely wrong. Rather than, hey, let's address it. Well, first of all, let's get proper inventory in. If you believe that there's a demand for it, that's up to you to believe. Let's get proper inventory in. Let's make sure that the people that are wanting it actually get it this time, because the other two times you've missed the mark as well. She, as I talked about before, she likes to pretend to be popular versus actually stocking the product. It's this, just like everything else, like the flower sprinkles to the balloon arches and everything in between. I think it's a very antiquated way to do things. Sure, if you don't know anything about it and you first hear, okay, it's sold out immediately, you think, cool, all right, regardless if it's Meghan or whoever, you think, okay, that's pretty big. But then you start looking at it and it just seems to be poor planning. Or, as I pointed out in yesterday's video, is it poor planning or is it that nobody has faith that she can move products, so they're not planning accordingly? I suspect maybe both. I think it's probably poor planning, but yeah, I don't know. But she's sure ready to celebrate. This is the same as I was up at 4 a.m. worried about the packaging of the products. And I think, why weren't you worried about the product itself? That's the biggest complaint people are making is it's too sweet. Its consistency is super weird. And the fact that you can't even call it jam, you have to call it spread because the ratio is very bizarre on the thing. So again, I just go back to, where are your priorities? It's getting ready to go with celebratory photos, apparently. That's what she's focused on, not the product itself. Can you imagine? I still can't get over the price point of this thing. 3 bottles for $90 on a wine you've never even tried. Listen, I say spend your money on what you want, and if it's wine that you want, get your wine, but you have to kind of build up a following, I would think, to have something at that price point. I would love to know inventory stuff. I've said this, but I just feel strongly about it. If she had sold 500,000 units of this stuff, she'd be screaming from the rooftops, I sold 500,000 units. I'm the greatest. Look at me. But she doesn't do that. So that tells me that it's got to be very low numbers. In my opinion, it seems like it's very low numbers. And the other thing I'd like to know is I did read complaints both from anti-Meghan and pro-Meghan, which why are people giving her money if they're anti-Meghan? I don't know. But people on both sides have said trouble getting refunds, especially in the first batch, it sounds like. I haven't heard as much on the second batch, but the first batch. And allegedly that money was being held and then it was hard to get it back. And I'm just like, whoa, like that's a big deal. You start thinking about, well, who's collecting interest on that money? How does that work? I have heard stories that free gifts are being given with refunds. Okay, it's a start, but it doesn't show that you care or that you have any kind of organizational skills whatsoever. It just seems like a chaotic mess, like everything else they do. But yeah, and then it leads me to this picture. Listen, I know, I get it. I'm not a Meghan Markle fan, but there are times where I can admit she looks better than others. I don't get this picture to save my life. I'm going to say something controversial, and if this applies to you, I'm sorry, but maybe you need to hear it. You ready? Don't wear frosted lipstick. I love a glossy lipstick. I'm all for that. Not a frosted lipstick. Let's see if I can go in closer. I just think frosted lipstick screams, I don't know. It's not good. I don't think it looks good on anybody. It definitely wouldn't look good on my pale skin. She's forgotten her bronzer here, so she might be paler than me, but you get the idea. So add a little color under that shine. I just don't get into the frost. I think when you have a frosted lip, you look sickly. Like that's how you look when you don't feel good. I don't care if it's Meghan or anybody else. I would say I don't get that look personally. That's me. You can tell me in the comments if you think I'm wrong. But I just see that. Did anybody watch? I love one of my favorite movies is Baby Boom with Diane Keaton. That is such a good 80s movie. It's so good. She talks about, again, forgive me, it was the 80s, but she talks about having a flash of this girl with frosted lipstick and said, her whole life flashed before my eyes and she's going to end up working at the Dairy Queen. So when I see frosted lipstick, that's the line I think about. But anyway, I digress. I love Diane Keaton. I love Baby Boom. If you've seen the movie, let me know in the comments. So yeah. So my point is, look, so here's the People magazine thing. Obviously, it was just an outtake from that. I just see this and I just think, as ever, it's just a very fakey picture. So I've been reading a lot personally, and I've talked about this. I'm on this, as you know, this weight loss journey. If you want to know more about it, you can follow me at Goose Adventures, where I've lost 140 pounds. But I'm really working out hard right now. And while I'm working out, what I do is sometimes I listen to music, but sometimes I listen to things because I'm trying to improve other areas of my life. And I've been trying to learn more things. This is all thanks to Atomic Habits. And one of the things I'm trying to learn about is charisma. What makes certain people charismatic? And I just really get into the psychology of it all. If you're interested in it, let me know because I'll talk about it more in my videos. But one of the things I've been learning about recently is something that makes people more charismatic is a genuine smile. People can tell. See, I can't stop. I'm always smiley. So mine is genuine though. If you fake it, there is a natural instinct that we have that tells us if it's fake. So the person I was listening to said, don't do it. If you don't feel like smiling, you don't have to smile. But the worst is when you fake smile because something about us is in tune to pick up a fake smile and it just reads as fake and it's off-putting. And I say case in point. Yeah. I mean, we've all taken the picture where you're like, but there's just something about, so with a genuine smile, it causes a good reaction, a good feeling in our brains when we see that. But then when you see a fake one, you just kind of, I think it's like almost like our defense mechanism goes up like, what's going on? That's the feeling I get when I see this. Like, what's going on? And then I notice again, though, look at my jewelry, like the pose. I've got to show it off. Because what are you holding on to? It'd be one thing if something was like popping open and you're trying to fix it, but it's not that. She's just here to let jewelry show through. That's just what it appears like to me. Here's the original, yeah, people. So that was from March. So she's just holding on to pictures like this anytime she gets. So again, I think it's funny that she's planning the celebration more than the product itself. This is funny to me. What's happening here, this is the second time I've pointed out, second time I've noticed it. I don't pretend to be an Instagram expert, but I'm starting to figure it out more. So this is her story. In her story, she's got a picture of herself, if that makes any sense. So essentially, she's showing you can look at the pictures of her on her Instagram, it's in that grid. But then when you click on her picture with the rainbow around it, means that she's got a new story, and it's like a video that plays. And smack dab in the middle of it is this. So it's like, look at me, looking at me, look at me. Do you see like all the layers of look at me? It's weird. Like, okay, she must not have had too much else to post, so she just needed to do that. I'm going to read you this ridiculous story because this is also posted on her Instagram. And again, I don't pretend to be an expert, but I see no original username, handle, anything like that. Just Meghan's. So this could be anybody writing this, right? But here we go. I set an alarm for 10:58 and asked my dental hygienist to please hold the cleaning until after I purchased my Meghan Sussex wine. She jumped up and said, "Oh, that's right." She grabbed her phone and we bought them together. It was that serious. No, you didn't. No, you did not. I don't believe this story. I don't believe any of this stuff. There's just no way. There's no way. No, I'm calling BS. Show me a username. Show me somebody that did this. I just don't believe it. Nothing about this rings true. I'm sure your hygienist was willing to move your appointment around buying something online and then immediately remembered she also needed to buy it online. What? Again, everything Meghan does is so juvenile. This story is very juvenile. And so I tend to not believe it and think that Meghan cooked this story up. It's like when the guy got down on his knees and thanked me for my service. No, they didn't. No, they did not. I'm just yelling into the void. And then other stories, other ridiculous stories. Had hubby on standby at 11 o'clock this morning to help with the purchase. Again, do we have any usernames or handles? I don't see anything. Anyway, who cares? This is silly. Yeah, more pictures. No usernames or handles with the exception of her own. So again, this could be anybody. This could be workers, helpers, friends of friends, staff. It could be Meghan for all I know. I just think that's so silly. Pretending to use the products, and there you go. I mean, I can't even be bothered to look at this. So you get the idea. That's what's going on. More planning into the celebratory part of it than the actual product. What else is new? The fact that she used the word grateful in her post. She's grateful. She and Harry are the most, is it ungrateful? Fill in the blanks of any two humans ever. She called her wedding a spectacle. She received a multi-million-dollar wedding and called it a spectacle. And now she's telling people she's grateful. I don't think you are. I don't think you or your husband know the meaning of the word grateful. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to leave this here. You got to let me know your thoughts on all this. Let me know in the comments below. Do you find this as crazy as I do? Again, if you haven't been icked out enough, allow me to show you witch's piss with floating grass clippings in it. There you go. Enjoy that. Oof, goodness gracious. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. Make sure you're following my second channel, Goose Adventures, where I'm detailing how I lost a significant amount of weight and the steps I took, the literal steps I'm taking to get fit. So follow me there. And thank you guys so much for being here. I cannot wait to read your comments on this one. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Okay, they're gone. How are you? How are things? If you're Canadian, I hope you had a good Canada Day yesterday. Thank you for everybody who wrote me such nice messages thanking me for recognizing the day. Of course, I love my neighbors to the north. I've mentioned before, I did live in Michigan for a little bit. I was only like 20 some odd minutes from the Canadian border. So I love my Canadian geese very much. I miss that area. I want to go back. What else? We got 4th of July coming up on Friday. Looking forward to that. Spend some time with the Gosling and go to my parents' house. And yeah, just have a nice celebration. What are you guys up to? Anything? If you celebrate, if you're in America, let me know. What else? I don't know. I know they're going to pull more shenanigans. They'll definitely do something around the 4th. Remember before they did blurry pictures of the kids? So I'm sure we'll get half pictures of the kids maybe doing something kind of patriotic. I don't know. It'll still be Meghan in the center of the photo, and then like the backsides of some kids that are barefoot in PJs, and then no Harry. I don't know. It'll be something like that. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Don't wear frosted lipstick. It doesn't look good on anybody. It really doesn't. I could be your friend helping you out here. Hey, if I ever do something wrong like that, you can let me know. It's okay. Friends don't let friends wear frosted lipstick. Don't do it. Okay. Bye.